So I decided to start building in public. The business had 50K ARR for a very long period of time. So it was stuck there. And the reason why it was stuck there had to do with a lot of mistakes that I did. It was all to me. The mistakes were mostly around the lack of focus. If you think about it, a couple of things that I was running back then was I had shares in a gym. So that gym, every single time something was going wrong, my business partner was asking me how we can solve this problem. Although to me initially seemed to be a passive income business because I invested some money and I thought I'm going to just be the outsider. That didn't really work out because the moment you own something, because you know it's going to go down, then you have to go and fix it. So you cannot just rely on other people fixing the problem. You know that you own portion of this business, portion of this asset, then you have to go back and spend some time to fix it. And when I say time to me is even when you sleep and you just say, oh, with my thoughts, there is this thing burning in that area. So although I know I'm not gonna be responsible for fixing every single item from this business, I still consider that I'm spending time because I'm spending time thinking about it, right? So that part with this business completely delayed my progress with HappierLeads. Now on the other side, I was dealing with hiring a lot of people all the time. In total, 88 people passed through HappierLeads. This is what came to me when I checked my Slack. When you combine this with me trying to find capital, because you have 10, 11 people working for you and you spend salaries, and at the same time you know that you have to find money to pay them. So you go and start raising money, but to raise money, it's a full-time job, which I didn't understand initially. As a solo founder, I had to step outside of the business and start finding capital. At the same time, when you're doing this and you have all of these people that needs to be trained, because let's be honest, I couldn't hire top level A players at the time. So what I did instead, I hired people offshore. I started training them, and the moment I step outside of the business to find capital, the business was going down. Now the problem is, the moment you start losing ground, for you to go back to the same level, it requires energy. The worst enemy of a SaaS business is churn. The moment you lose a client, there is a lot more energy for you to go and find new clients rather than keeping the existing one. So the problem is when you have a churn, a high churn, and you try to go always to find new clients, that is a super stressful situation. And another mistake I did was that I was keep building and building and building. So the majority of my team was software developers. So we were building stuff and we built quite a decent product when we could just market what we had, bring in more money. At the same time, I had my mindset in two places. I was thinking about the gym business that was not going great, and at the same time I was worried about HappierLeads that was not going great. And I had this time ticking that I had to complete a few things before I ran out of money. So the worst enemy for a business is cash flow. So the moment you start losing money, it's a ticking clock. The moment you have a runway, you play a game that is already lost. So when you hear I have a runway of 12 months, 11 months, this is already a lost game. And what you do to win this game, it's simply how you bring more capital and then you try kind of to save that game. But that game is set from the very beginning for you so you can lose. The moment you have the runway as a keyword in your vocabulary, you already lost the game. So I started playing a different game the last year, and this is where my business completely changed shape. So what I did, it was to fire everybody, which was a very bold move. And it didn't happen overnight. AI came in and I started replacing one by one, like customer support, developers. Last one was DevOps. And apparently it was me and AI. Things completely changed because now I was able to talk directly to customers. Let's say someone comes in with a bug, and let's say the AI tier 1 support doesn't handle it. It gives me back the bug report. I'm going to AI, can you fix this bug? Fix the bug, I can see the result. I don't have to talk to 3-4 different people, especially in the startup world, right? I don't have to talk to too many people for just one small bug. And that can be filtered out by myself in a very quick way. So, having said that, right now the business is in 1.5 million ARR, but this doesn't mean I'm not going to hire anymore. On the opposite, this is the right time to hire, but who you need to hire at this stage? This is quite important because I don't want to just hire as I was hiring before, just hire a marketer, hire a developer. I want to hire people that know how to prompt properly. I want them to be AI experts. So one person can be replacing marketing, developer, a BA, business analyst. So a UI, UX designer, like one person using AI can be a super hero, right? So this is what I'm targeting right now, to hire only people that understand business in multiple areas, just using AI that can deliver 10 times more value. And this is not an insult for anybody that haven't done this yet, but it's just something you have to reconsider. If you are working for someone and you just became a specialist on something, I think the future is becoming generalist right now, because you have AI specializing in all of these items. You don't need to know everything about coding. Again, I'm talking about startup environment where I'm still, if we talk about enterprises, completely different game. There, obviously you need to be a specialist, but if you are running a startup and you are a CEO of a startup, then you only need people around you that can do multiple things and they can amplify whatever that they're using AI. And I go back to the focus. So I was confused for too many years. Why? Because I was able to do too many things. I was good at too many areas. I was good in marketing, sales, development. I was able to having too many ideas all the time. All of these opportunities I wanted to just jump on and make up some money. So I was looking into the gym business. I knew how to build up all of these ideas, and also I knew how to build startups, and I knew how to become a developer. And at some point in my story, I was also jumping back to development to do on the side the business and half of my time on working for someone else. And this is the lack of focus, that if you keep doing too many things for a short period of time and you just work in a bursts. So when you say, I'm going to work on this area right now, and you do it for 1 month, and then you start working on something else, and you do it for another 1-2 months, and then you start working on something else for another month, this doesn't compound. And compounding is a keyword here, because this HappierLeads software, right? Compounding to me means I keep building the software and I keep adding more features. At some point, I'm improving the customer support. At some point, I'm keep improving the marketing. The moment now I keep improving the marketing and I'm able to bring more customers in, whatever I worked on the features, when I added a new feature, is going to compound with the marketing efforts. The moment I'm working on retention and I say, okay, when people canceling, I'm getting them a dialogue and try to discuss how we can keep them. That percentage works with the marketing element, because the more people you bring in and the more retention you improve, all of this works together and gives you better results. Every time you start a business, except if you are extremely lucky, is going to fail. By default, all the numbers will be off. The lead magnets, how you run the ads, how you send the emails, the copy, it's the initial copy you are going to send the emails will be off. So not a lot of people will click, will open the email. You are not going to have a good email deliverability from day one. Now, you bring in people to your website, and not everybody will convert there, because the landing page will not be A/B tested. It's not going to be a very nice UI UX. So not a lot of people will click and convert. So you keep pushing through the same idea, you keep improving the same idea. At some point, those numbers will start to work. But this is only happening when you keep pushing this for many years. And this is another thing I didn't realize back then. I thought that the success will just come within 1 month, within 3 months. It didn't. And it didn't because I was moving with a very, very slow move. Back then I was not having any money from any VC. So everything I worked, it took me a while. But right now, looking where I am, and I didn't regret that, because I became expert in so many areas. And I don't have a co-founder, which back in the time I was feeling that was a very bad move. I thought that everybody else that have a co-founder, they are in a much better position than me. And this is true in a sense that when you have someone on the marketing and you are the builder and you just build something, you get better support. But if you think all the times that you worked with someone and it's super, super difficult for you and your co-founder to actually have the same dreams, same ideas, you don't have to argue, most of the time it's not gonna work. And the recipe, when you do that, is usually you get a co-founder, you work together, you go raise VC money very fast, and then you try to exit. That is one recipe. And that can be also a successful recipe, but for a very few people, right? So it all goes down to the risk. So to me, it's a much more risky company, a company that runs with two co-founders and go through the VC route, rather than finding a problem that can be solved today with very little money, build everything by yourself using AI, so you have an army of employees that work 24/7 for you, then this army can help you go to the next level. This army of AI agents essentially replace the VC money. So, because what you can do with the VC money, most of the times you hire people, right? And you spend on marketing. When it comes down to marketing, for myself, I have a database of 175 million contacts where I don't have to spend money on ads. I can just email these people and have my AI agents run those email campaigns. So I don't need VC money, and you probably don't need either. But this is not a way for me to say that raising VC money is a bad thing. There are some cases where if you start a new project and you know that there are upcoming costs, it might be licensing, it might be acquiring a specific tool that costs 20,000, 30,000 a year. Yes, in that cases you are going to need some external funding, but most of the cases you are not going to need the VC money. All you need right now is using AI, be extremely focused on what you build and keep building this thing for a while before you quit. Find a project that there is already demand. And I want to put a small parenthesis here, because one of my other problems was I was keep doing what people call validation and product market fit. I was trying to do product market fit on something that was already proven. So I'm not the only website identification software out there. There are more others before me, and those companies, they made millions before me. In case of ZoomInfo, they are 1 billion company. So there was already validation, but for me, I was keep trying to find product market fit on something that didn't have to. And I was spending wrong time trying to identify problems where I didn't have these problems. So you need to have a clarity, and clarity comes when you keep pushing for the same thing for a while. And you need to keep focus on those things that you work, and you need to keep working for a while. And through iterations, you are going to improve, and you go from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3. At some point, those conversions through email campaigns or ads, your acquisition channels, and those conversions on your website, on your landing page, will keep improve over time. And when you had 5% conversion rate on the landing page and now you get it 8%, you are going to see that, yes, it didn't work before because I had a bad conversion. So you need to identify what the problem is in your pipeline. Is it the problem in the acquisition? Is it the problem in conversion, or is it the problem with the product and retention? So when you identify those problems where they are, then you apply the right fixes to those problems. And when you apply those right fixes over a long time period, it's just going to work. And the last item I just want to add before I complete this cigar is speed. Speed is everything. It took me 6 years to go to 1.5. And if I'm looking right now back, there is a lot of times that I thought I have something that was in a very good shape in terms of from acquisition perspective, from conversion on the landing page, or the actual product. But I underestimate I will tell you what I did. I underestimated how good the product was, because the product was quite decent, was not amazing at the time. We had a couple of bugs, but it was not worse than our competitors. In many times it was better than our competitors that were making millions. So I didn't realize this, the fact that if you go very fast in the acquisition, yes, you have a leaky bucket, you have a bucket that you throw money and resources, and at some point not everybody will convert, but keep building and building and building until you make the perfect product. It's not really a good solution because you don't have the resources to build it, to make it amazing, right? Because you didn't have these resources. Why? Because you didn't spend time and energy on bringing more clients. So you have to push harder, bringing in clients, knowing that many of these clients will not convert. So you need to have a tolerance on the fact that many of these people will come to the website, will not convert, and you're gonna lose them forever. And you will be okay with this, because by the end of the day, if you bring 10 times or 100 times more people, you will 100 times X what you're doing now. So imagine now you're making, I don't know, 50,000 ARR, and you bring 10,000 people on the website. If you 10x the amount of people coming through the website, because this is a funnel and all the conversions through all layers are always the same. The moment you bring more people in, you are going to get through this leaky bucket a lot of people out in every step of this pipeline, but you are going to get a very good revenue and use this revenue to go and fix those leaks. And when you fix those leaks, then you can go all the way and do the iteration again and again and keep building on the same project for a long time, doing those iterations for a long time. That is a success recipe. That's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching.